Do you know where pizza originated, Carmela?
Oh, in Italy, of course.
Okay, but more specifically.
Naples?
Okay. And do you know where limoncello is from?
Wow, these are two hugely different topics. But limoncello, like maybe Amalfi?
Okay, well, for our latest Italian wine adventure, we are heading to the beautiful region of Campania, where they make a white wine called Fiano.
Ooh.
And we're going to connect all those pieces together in a minute.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of a reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Woohoo. Well, we just
Talking in a really high
like
voice.
an octave higher today.
Okay, a quick orientation for those of you who may be new to the podcast. In each episode, we learn about, taste, and give our honest review of 3 wines that are reasonably priced, which means under $20 each, and should be easy for you to find, and we talk about what foods pair with those wines because we are the Wine Pair.
That's right.
And our podcast is made for people who want to learn more about wine or maybe find new wines to enjoy and just want someone to talk about wine in a way that is fun and that regular people can understand. Is that so wrong?
No, I love it. I think it's important.
Okay,
We don't want to be intimidating.
So if that's interesting
You're
to you...
intimidating for lots of other reasons.
I'm not intimidating.
Yeah, you're big and scary.
Big, yes. Okay, you're in the right place, by the way, if these things are
Excellent.
interesting to you. And we're proud to say that we are recommended by the editors of Decanter magazine, who call us fun, irreverent,
Chatty.
and entertaining.
Woo.
This week, Carmela, we are
Going to Italy.
I wish we were, but we are embarking on an Italian wine adventure. And this time, as I mentioned in the intro, we're heading back to the Campania area of Italy,
Nice.
perhaps better known for the city of Naples.
Which my dad's side of his family is from.
Yes, we're going to talk about that in a second, as well as Capri,
Oh, beautiful.
the Amalfi Coast, Mount Vesuvius in the ancient city of Pompeii, and as we mentioned also, pizza.
Woo! I
So,
mean, come on. You
It
got
is-
to know this.
Yeah, Campania is the birthplace of pizza.
Nice.
So we would expect wines made in Campania to be a perfect complement to pizza, right?
That's right.
And that's true.
I mean, it's got to be. I mean, that's like part of the deal.
It is part of the deal. But actually, in this episode, we're talking about a white wine called Fiano. Now, you can drink white wine with pizza, and we'll talk about that.
It's not a huge no-no.
No, most people would say you drink red wine with pizza, but it's not a hard and fast rule, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too.
Okay.
Now, you can find Fiano. Let's talk about Fiano a little bit more, but you can find Fiano in other places like, you're going to find this interesting, Puglia,
Ooh,
which is
not
the
so
heel.
far off.
No, which is it's the heel of the boot of Italy, and also it's being made in places like Australia. And here's facts. Facts, by the
Okay,
way,
I
am.
want the facts.
The facts are I'm starting to notice that a lot of Italian wines are finding their way to Australia
Interesting. I wonder why.
because of similar. I think there's similar like heat, etc. in Australia as there is in like southern areas of Italy.
Oh.
But more facts, Carmela. More facts. The areas of Campania and Puglia, where Fiano is found, is also important for you because
my family, those are the 2 areas that they are from.
Da-da-da!
I mean, really, you just picked this one for me, didn't you?
I did, and also because it's a white wine.
Okay. Oh, you're so thoughtful.
I know. I am, aren't I? Oh, boy. If you guys only knew what the discussion was before we got on this. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit more about just what the F Fiano is in a few minutes. But before we do that, I do want to spend just a couple of minutes talking about foods from Campania.
Ooh.
Now, we already talked about pizza, right? And I'll say for most Americans, they're just kind of starting to really appreciate that Neapolitan style of pizza.
You think just starting? Really?
I think in some areas, like Seattle, we've had it for a while, but in other areas, it's kind of new-ish.
I'd be curious to know how many people, have gone and done the training, the Neapolitan pizza making training.
And they have that style in their town.
Exactly. I wonder.
I also think some of those new pizza gadgets that are coming out, I don't know how new they are either, but like the Uni pizza ovens are kind of trying to make that style of pizza, that Neapolitan style.
You
like
need a hot oven.
real hot, not huge pizzas, these kind of softer crusts.
Thinner.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're going to have a pizza with white wine, this is just a total tangent. Probably want one without tomato sauce, but that's okay.
Well, it depends on who you are.
True that. Now, another thing about food, Carmela,
Okay.
that many Americans may not know because America is very red meat centric.
Right.
But many of the dishes from Naples, we think about Italian food, spaghetti and meatballs, sausage, blah, blah, these things. A lot of the dishes from Naples are fish and vegetable based and not really as much meat based. And those are great foods with white wine.
Yes, absolutely. Well, if you're thinking about the island of Capri, and if you're thinking, those are all seaside spots.
Naples is right on the water. Yeah, right. Exactly. So a classic pasta dish from Naples is spaghetti
and clams.
Exactly. Spaghetti con vongole. Yeah. And
that's one of our favorites.
It's becoming one of my favorites. And I never used to like seafood that much, and I just love it. In fact, we went out to dinner the other night, not you and me, but this is the work dinner, and they had like a raw bar. I was like, where is the spaghetti and clams?
Wow, they didn't have that.
Now I was kind of pissed.
Huh. But maybe you don't mean, depending on what restaurant you were at, may not have been like a specialty of theirs. Like, you want to go to a good Italian restaurant. You're not going to order spaghetti and clams just anywhere.
No. Not
just
exactly.
wanted to get that out there.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for sharing.
You don't go to like an Olive Garden and I know that's supposed to be Italian, but okay.
It's not. That is not Italian.
You would not get spaghetti con vongole there.
And trust us, if you go to Naples, do not expect never-ending breadsticks, soup, and what's the other one? Oh, and salad.
Yeah,
that just won't
Caesar
happen.
Salad.
It won't happen.
What?
No, it won't happen. Okay, another classic pasta dish from Naples is pasta fagioli, also known as pasta fazool.
Yeah.
And fagioli means beans, if you didn't know that, right?
Oh, wait, my family in New York made that. They're all,
Italian.
They're all Italians.
They're from Campania.
Yeah,
that's
Campania.
Right. Another pasta dish many of you may have heard of that comes from the area is spaghetti alla puttanesca.
Ooh.
And if you didn't know, puttanesca means whore.
Angry. Oh, no, it's arrabbiata.
Arrabbiata is angry. It's puttanesca means whore, or as my mom would say, whore.
Oh.
Yeah, no, prostitute.
Yeah.
Whore is more fun to say.
This is a racy episode.
I know.
All of a sudden.
Okay. All right.
Switching gears.
Another thing that people may not know is that some of the most favoritist pasta shapes in America, like spaghetti and linguine.
How did we get this?
I'm just telling you that these are Neapolitan pasta shapes.
Okay.
Now, people may not appreciate the fact that different regions of Italy are actually noted for different pasta shapes.
This would be a fun quiz.
Be.
I like this.
And it's also facts.
Okay.
This is more facts.
Okay.
And another great dish of ours that we love that's from Naples is eggplant parmigiana.
Oh, but there's no pasta in that.
I know. What is that?
Just jumping all over the place.
I'm just talking about generally about foods.
Well,
now,
I want to go back to those.
Can I just? I want to make a point about pasta, about eggplant parmigiana, because parmigiana actually means from Parma, but Parma is in the north. Eggplant parmigiana is actually a Napolitan dish.
Okay.
So there you go.
So back to the pasta shapes. You didn't say what was the most popular in Naples.
I did. I said spaghetti and linguine.
Oh, I missed it.
But you were talking and you weren't listening. You got to listen more than you talk.
I got my listening ears on now. Shoot. I didn't bring those today, but I just popped them on.
Okay. Another thing, more facts. I'm just ignoring that. I'm just trying to move on. And I'm not going to edit it out so you guys know what I have to put up with every day. Okay. The Napolitan are also known for seafood like clams and mussels and polpo, which is octopus, and calamari, squid, right? And like frito misto, which is fried fish and veggies.
Well,
and
people love fried calamari.
They do. That's a Napolitan dish.
Right. Oh, wow.
And by the way, great with white wine.
Right. And it has become very Americanized. So you can get fried calamari at your local, like steakhouse
grocery store
now. Yeah.
Okay. The last one I'm going to talk about, is a famous cheese from Naples, which is mozzarella di bufala.
Oh, my goodness.
And the thing that people may not really understand is when they say di bufala, it does mean buffalo. This is cheese that comes from buffalo milk.
Right.
I don't
it's
think
different than just mozzarella.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, one more. Capri, right? The island of Capri.
Right.
We all love a good caprese salad. Mm-hmm. Guess what?
It's not from there.
No, it is.
Okay.
It's named for Capri.
Okay.
People don't know that. They don't know why it's called caprese.
So should it be
There's
called
nothing
Capri
in there.
instead of caprese?
No, because it's the caprese salad.
Okay.
It's the salad they make, the caprese people make.
Oh, I love it.
See?
Okay.
So there you go.
I'm hungry.
So this wine, I know. So this wine, like a lot of white wines, goes well with these foods. Fried foods, spicy foods, fish, cheese, vegetables, these pasta dishes, etc. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Fiano wine, and then we're going to taste and review 3 Fiano wines to let you know what we think. But first,
You got to do our shameless plug.
Okay, we want to thank you.
Spit it out.
We want to thank you for listening to us and for supporting our show. And if you hadn't had the chance to do so yet, now would be a really great time to subscribe to our podcast. And a really big thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. And another way to support us is to leave a nice rating and review on our website or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or something like that. So people will go, hey, these guys, I think I like them. And you can also follow us and see pictures of the wines we're tasting and trying today on Instagram at The Wine Pair Podcast. And you can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter there.
Oh.
And as we do every week, we're going to tell you someone we think you should tell about The Wine Pair Podcast.
Okay.
And
Who
this
is it?
week, we want you to tell anyone who loves a good caprese salad or pizza or calamari or one of those Napolitan dishes
That
and
we mentioned?
Yeah, and they didn't know that they were Napolitan. And if they mention it like, hey, let's get the fried squid, you can say, you know what? You should listen to this podcast because they're talking all about wine from the region of Italy where that food came from.
Right. Well, and that's the next time you're at your local Olive Garden.
No.
That's where you tell the people that we're. Yeah.
Garden.
Well, you never know. I mean,
You
they're all
do.
over the
I do
country,
know.
right? Aren't they?
I'm
maybe not.
starting to sweat with the Olive Garden comments. Okay, Carmela, let's get off Olive Garden and talk about WTF is Fiano. Do you know what
Okay.
WTF stands for?
What the?
Okay. So we've already established a couple of things. First, that Fiano is a white wine. Okay.
Excellent.
Second, that it's from the Campania area of Italy. Okay. And if you're trying to picture in your mind like where Campania is, if you think of Italy like a leg, Campania is the area where
A
you're.
leg.
Yeah, or a boot.
Right.
Campania is the area where your foot flexes on the front of your leg. It's like that. That's the way to think about it, right?
Okay,
Right below the shin. Okay. And then I do want to give a shout out to a website called Good Pair Days. They have an excellent article on Fiano that I have a link to in our show notes. So if you go to this episode and you scroll down, you can find the links to the article in our show notes. Lots of other articles there too. But facts about Fiano. You want to hear some facts, more
I
facts?
can't wait.
Now, Fiano is an important wine in southern Italy, as you would guess, and the top Fiano region, and the one that's recognized and protected with a DOCG, which means a guarantee of authenticity. So when you see Italian wines, you'll see different things like DOC. DOCG is the top. That's the top
Wow.
designation.
What does it stand for? Is it an Italian?
Yeah, a guarantee.
Acronym?
A garantita. It's like they guarantee that it's from the area. Anyway.
Okay.
That area in southern Italy is called Avellino, and it's named for a city about 45 minutes outside of Naples. And the Fiano from this region, and we have two today that are from Avellino, are supposed to be the best or purest examples of the wine. Now, interestingly enough, Fiano is the name for the wine and the grape. So unlike a lot of wines that are in France or in Italy or Spain or whatever, the wine and the grape have the same name.
Okay.
Fiano is also a grape that likes hot weather, which is a good thing because it's damn hot in that area of Italy. And Fiano, again, like I mentioned, it's being grown in other warm weather areas in Italy, like Puglia and Sicily, but also Australia. It's hot. That's why it's growing there.
Right. Interesting.
And-
but do they make pizza?
In Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got shrimp on it or a bloomin' onion. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Doesn't sound so bad, actually.
I wonder if Australians react the same way about to Outback Steakhouse that we react to Olive Garden.
I can
kinda
imagine
think
that they
they do.
do.
I
Yeah,
kinda think they
would
do.
think so.
All right, back to Fiano. You
Okay.
ready? Fiano is also a white wine that can age, which is not a super common thing for a white
Interesting,
wine. Now, I'm not going to go a ton into the taste profile just yet because I don't want to bias your tasting, Carmela. I don't want to bias our tasting. Okay.
Good.
But one thing that Fiano can be noted for, especially in Avellino, is having some nuttiness on the taste. And interestingly enough, I say interesting a lot.
We don't always think that's a good thing.
No, but this time it is. The grape growing region of Avellino is some of the vineyards are really close to hazelnut trees. And they think that the hazelnut trees, maybe through cross-pollination or something, impacts the flavor of the wine. So we'll see. We'll
Just
see.
because they share the soil.
They share a lot of stuff.
Wow.
They share the
what
soil.
else?
Well, they
The
share
same sun? I don't know. I guess it's the same sun
Well, they
everywhere.
pollinate. They got the pollen on one thing. They bring the pollen to the
True.
other thing. You
Those
know,
birds.
Like if you have that's why there's some bee honeys. You know, there's bee honeys that can taste differently.
wonder.
So there you go.
Okay.
Okay, more facts. You ready for more facts? Fiano was a wine that was almost extinct not so long ago.
Really?
So here's some more facts.
Okay.
Fiano is a grape that doesn't create a lot of berries. They call the little grapes berries, even though we call them grapes. A lot of times they call them berries. Okay. And those berries don't yield a ton of juice. So although it's a pretty hardy wine and it's like means it grows, it's like sturdy.
Right.
It's sturdy.
It can withstand a lot.
And it's suited for hot weather. It was hard for farmers to make enough money from it because they didn't yield a lot of juice. And so less and less it was being planted because the farmers were making economic decisions.
Right.
But luckily in the latter part of the 20th century there was a resurgence of interest.
I wonder why.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
The DOCG was created in 2003, so not that long ago. I'll just tell you that one of the wines that we're going to try is from a winemaker who spent a lot of time. They're a Campania-based winemaker, and they spent time trying to bring back sort of more traditional Campagnese wines or whatever you say.
Okay.
Because that was just part of what they wanted to do. So we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
So we'll hold on that.
Okay.
Now, to be considered a true Fiano di Avellino, which again is the name of the DOCG, where this specific wine, the best of the best is supposed to be, and it has to be 85% Fiano. So they can actually blend it with other grapes. Okay. And it has to be at least 11.5% alcohol.
Okay.
And then winemakers in the region are allowed to call it a pianum, okay? And that is, I'll tell you why that matters. It's a name that links its roots to the Roman Empire, and some even say that the ancient Greeks may have grown the grape and made wine with it, but the Romans called the grape Vitis apiana, which means the wine of the bees. Oh. And to this day, bees are said to be very attracted to this wine.
Oh my goodness.
And the grapes.
Interesting, right?
Yeah,
and it's not particularly sweet.
Well, I don't know if it is or not. We're going to find out.
Or just maybe not very juicy.
Well, I think maybe the juice is very concentrated.
Oh,
I think because it's a hot weather grape and they don't make not a lot of berries. It's probably very concentrated.
Yeah, you didn't say anything about sweet. You said juicy. Okay.
Juicy. And then this wine can vary in flavor a lot depending on where it's made. So in Australia, it's kind of a crisp and acidic wine, but in Italy, it's known for being a little bit heavier and richer wine. So maybe
Did you get an Australian one?
No, I didn't. We're doing only Fiano today from Italy.
Okay.
But so we'll see, because that type of wine is not totally our cup of tea. But we'll see what we think. If we like it, and
we could be converted.
And also, we may be finding a wine that people who like kind of a heavier wine, like a Chardonnay or something like that, will really appreciate. And that's part of what the service that we want to provide to our listeners. Oh, boy.
Nice.
Okay. But we are not drinking Australian Fiano.
Okay.
Because, Carmela, we're on an Italian wine adventure.
Oh, true. We didn't do just like a little detour.
No, we didn't. I don't know if you know this.
They're kind of far away from each other.
Yeah, Australia and Italy are kind of like opposite ends of the world.
But when you're doing it virtually like this, you could.
You're right. But we're not changing it now because I already wrote the goddamn script. Okay. So on that note, I think it's time to learn a little bit more about the specific wines we're drinking today. What do you say, Carmelita?
I'm ready.
Okay. So usually, Carmela, all the wines we choose for our episodes are under $20. But today I have a confession to make. One of the wines that we're drinking today is just a bit over $20.
What is it, honey?
No, I'm not. It's like $22 or something. But
wow.
I somebody was asking me this the other day. Like, are we going to be able to stick to our $20?
Well, you've always kind of questioned whether we would be able to stick to it.
Yeah, and I just think more and more it's going to be harder and harder to stick to the $20 because inflation and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and I wonder how many bottles we've reviewed that were under 20 are now over 20.
I'm sure some of them.
Yeah,
I'm sure some
happens.
of them.
It happens. Don't like point fingers or scold us if you find that it's not under $20
Be nice.
Anymore.
Be gentle.
Right.
Be gentle. We're gentle with you. You should be gentle with us.
True.
Treat us like babies. Okay. But all the wines are.
Speak for yourself.
You're a baby.
I'm not.
Okay.
I was a baby.
We were all babies.
Once upon a time.
Maybe I wasn't a baby. I don't know.
You
Okay.
just were an adult all along.
I was born as an adult. Okay. Anyway, on average, all of the wines are under $20. Okay. How about that?
I like it.
And they should all be reasonably easy to find because I bought them all on wine.com.
Woo.
Now, on that note, I am not sure exactly how easy it will be to find Fiano where you live.
Fiano!
Fiano! Where the are you?
Where are you? I don't know. I haven't really looked for Fiano lately.
Jeez. Okay. This is like.
That was kind of a Joe
Well, she'll be
joke.
here all week.
People
ladies
say
and
dad
gentlemen.
jokes. We call them Joe jokes.
Tip your waiter. Okay. Anyway, but if you find a wine shop,
Couldn't resist.
I know it's
It was just so you.
Okay. Anyway, if you can find a wine shop with a large selection of wine or a large Italian wine selection, you should be able to find a Fiano. Okay?
Okay.
Get over yourselves. Okay. The first wine we're going to be tasting and reviewing today is the 2020 Claudio Quarta Cantina San Paolo Fiano di Avellino.
Which
is a mouthful.
It's such an Italian thing.
And by the way, Carmela does have a cousin named Claudio.
I do.
And he said, hey, Camilla.
Oh my gosh.
He did. Okay.
Long time ago. I haven't talked to Claudio in many years.
Claudio. So this wine is definitely
could be
from.
listening.
He's not. Okay. He should, but he's not.
He might be.
Okay, he's still mad at me. I don't know why. Okay, the wine is definitely from Avellino DOCG, which again is this top production area for Fiano. And there wasn't a ton of information I could find out about this wine, but I can let you know it's 100% Fiano. Okay. So no blending, even though it can be 85%. This one's 100%.
Nice.
Just Fiano.
Purebred.
Purebred, that's right, a fast horse. Okay, the wine is also described as vinified in steel and refined in the bottle. So I was like, what the hell does refined in the bottle mean? Because I know what fining and filtering is, but it's not fining and filtering.
Right.
So what refining a wine means is they try to balance the wine. And so I take this to mean like they're trying to balance out the body of the wine. Remember, these are kind of supposed to be bigger bodied wines with acid and tannins. And so that has to do with like how long they leave it in the bottle before they release it, or how long they keep it in the tanks before they bottle it, because they don't want it to be like overpowering in one particular way. They kind of want to refine it. They kind of want to mellow it out a little bit. Now, this wine is 13.5% alcohol. So that's a high alcohol wine.
For a white wine.
Yeah, so this one probably needed a little bit of extra mellowing, like kind of punch it down a little bit. Like, hey, settle down.
Exactly. You're getting too crazy.
Yeah, you nutball. And then the 2020 version of this wine, Claudio, did not have any professional reviews that I could find, but the 2021 that I didn't buy, it did have a number of very high ratings.
Was it too expensive?
It wasn't available.
Okay.
I couldn't find it.
Okay.
But
I know you were going, Fiano! And you just couldn't find it.
That was real loud. I just want you got to turn away like I do.
You don't want me to scream right in the microphone?
No, I prefer it.
I'm really trying to find it.
There's somebody who just pulled their AirPods out of their head and was like,
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So we'll see if the 2020 that we're drinking today is good. If it deserves a high rating. Mm-hmm. Okay. The next wine we're going to try today is the 2019 La Capranera Paestum Fiano.
Okay.
Now, the name, let's note this name. So the wine is from Campania, but it's not from the Avellino DOCG, and it's from Paestum. And if you don't know about Paestum, Paestum is a city actually south of Naples that was actually an ancient Greek settlement in Italy. Because in the southern part of Italy, there were a lot of Greeks. There were a lot of everybody.
Right, sure.
A lot of people came through southern Italy and conquered it and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But anyway, in that area of Italy, in Paestum, there's actually an well-preserved ancient Greek temple. One of the best preserved ancient Greek temples in the world is in Italy.
Wow. Interesting,
right? Mm-hmm. The Paestum is not a DOCG, but it is an IGT.
My goodness.
IGT is a designation they give, but it's kind of considered a lower end designation. It's an officially recognized wine in a wine region, but it's not as specific as a DOC as a DOCG. But lest you think that an IGT means a less high quality wine, some of the most expensive and best rated wines in Italy, like Masetto and Sassicaia, are IGT wines. It's just that they are sort of maybe not officially recognized as the best example of that wine from that area or whatever, but it doesn't mean it's not a good wine. And again, some of the best and most expensive wines are IGTs.
Okay.
This wine is also fermented in stainless steel tanks, and it spends 8 months in those tanks before it's put in the bottles. Gives it a little bit of aging, probably a little bit of refining. And the winery is also noted for sustainable farming, and the name Capranera means black goat.
What?
There's a reason why.
Okay.
It's called black goat.
Okay, I want to know.
So evidently, those goats are found in the area of Campania where this wine is made. And this wine is made in Paestum. It's in the middle of a national park.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And there's these black goats. Okay, there wasn't a ton of other information I could find about the wine. There are lots of articles for reference in our show notes. But I'm very curious to see if this is very different from the Avellino wines.
Okay.
And then speaking of Avellino wines, our last wine, the most expensive wine, it's a 2020 Terradora di Paolo Fiano di Avellino. They like long names here. And so I'm sorry that I chose a wine that's over $20. I'm also really sorry because it's got a review, a 93 rating from James Suckling.
But 93, it might be really something else.
Yeah, it just means for most people it's like a 12. Okay, the wine. No, I digress. That's probably not true. I just don't like James Suckling. It's also 100% Fiano.
Okay.
It's fermented in stainless steel tanks. It's macerated on the skins for 24 hours. That just means they keep it on the skins. The wine is aged for 6 months on the lees before it's bottled. So again, the lees is like the yeast and other gunk that's left over from the fermenting process. So I'm expecting the lees gives like flavor and body and funkiness to a wine. A lot of times you see that in champagne or sparkling wine. They leave it on the lees. So I'm curious what this does to the wine. And then, as I mentioned, this wine is made by an offshoot of the Mastroberardino family. And this is a very famous wine-making family from this area of Campania. They're really famous for a wine called Terrassi wines. These are very expensive Aglianico wines, like really nice wines. And this family were influential, as I mentioned, in the revival of the Fiano grape and wine. Now, Terradora di Paolo was started in 1978 when a part of the family broke away from the main Mastroberardino clan. Yeah, so there's a little drama. I wonder if they fight. I wonder if they have like you don't come over here, I'll kick your ass. Do you think they do that?
Like that.
You send back that eggplant parmigiana I do not want.
Oh.
Do you think they say that?
I don't know. This whole thing is getting rather frightening. Maybe.
You have to bring your Fiano this way, you jackass.
Oh,
do you think they do
God,
that?
I don't think so. I'd hate to believe that. That's, like I said, a little strange.
There's some drama. Yeah. I'd like to know. If anybody knows about the drama in the Mastroberardino family.
Should we visit? Should we
let us know. If anybody knows, just let us know. But since splitting away, they've become the largest vineyard owners in Campania. So to them.
Wow.
And they're focused on traditional wines and grapes of the area. So there you go. But that's enough information. I've been talking a lot, Carmela. I don't know if you noticed that, but I've been talking a lot.
You, again, chatty.
Yeah, so I think we should get to drinking. We should try these Fiano wines that I picked out, and we're going to take a break and just get to it because that's enough.
I think so. Cutting you off, buddy.
Okay, we're back, and Carmela just scolded me. She said I talk a lot, so I'm gonna let you talk. I'm just gonna let you talk.
Can I just run the show?
Oh, God, this is a bad idea.
Hey there! I know.
Okay, let's talk about this wine.
Don't put me in charge.
I know. This is the Claudio Quarta Cantina San Paolo Fiano di Avellino.
Oh my goodness!
It is from Campania, Italy. It's 2020. It was $19.99, so it is right on the cusp. Wine.com is where we got it. 13.5% alcohol, 100% Fiano Carmela. What are you smelling?
It's nice. Maybe something citrusy, actually, or even like, I don't know if it's maybe like grapefruit or like
you're getting some of those like tropically kind of fruits or nectarine.
Yeah, maybe.
Got a little bit of fig Newton on it, like a little spicy figgy kind of smell to it.
Oh, okay.
And I am getting that kind of richness.
I am too. It almost smells a little sweet because there's sometimes those highly acidic wines, you can't get as much of that fruit on it. This definitely is the tropical fruit, a little sweeter.
It smells thicker though. It smells thicker. And I'm not saying this just because I probably am saying this just because we talked about it, but it does kind of a little bit of a nutty note to it.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it's thick.
It smells like syrup. Like it's a little bit like a syrup.
Thick. It's not sick, but thick to me.
But the fig Newton is kind of interesting too.
A little spicy, figgy kind of smell to it for some reason. All right, let's taste it.
Okay. Ooh.
It's good.
It's good. It's flavorful.
It's got some girth to it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely body. Right. It's almost it's definitely like a standalone you can have this just at a cocktail hour. There's a lot going on. It will be nice with food, but it is flavorful.
This is not like a flyaway Pinot Grigio. It's almost got, we sometimes talk about cocktailing wines. You can taste the alcohol in this wine. It almost tastes like a liquor.
So this is 13.5. Is that right?
Yeah, don't you think like it almost tastes like a mixed drink in terms of like you can taste, not in a negative way. Like sometimes there's this astringent, over alcohol-y kind of taste to it. I'm not getting that, but I can taste the alcohol and it's giving it like a body and it's giving it flavor and it's like, it's big.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm definitely getting, I don't know if it's grapefruit or something on it, like definitely like a tropical fruit of some. I don't know if is grapefruit really? Maybe it's pineapple.
Yeah,
because it's still kind of tangy. It's a little tangy, but so it could be pineapple that I'm tasting too.
Yeah, I think I'm also getting a little bit of like orange rind.
Okay, like a pith or the actual
the
red
rind.
Okay, like more of like
you bit the inside of the orange.
Okay. It's very tasty. I'm always thinking it's like a little bit of zest. So I'm kind of almost like a little bit of maybe orange zest, like the rather than the pith. It's not super bitter.
No, it's not. It's not super bitter.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's sweeter and tangier, or maybe almost like a Sour Patch Kid, where you get a little sweet and a little tang, in the same bite, the same sip. What would you eat with this, my dear?
I'm still trying to get the flavors out of it. There's something like there is something lemony, citrusy to it, but maybe there's also something like vanilla-y to it as well or something. But anyway, I would eat, this would be great with like, this could stand up to a pizza. I feel like this could stand up to a pizza.
I think it actually is a pretty strong wine. Like it can take a lot.
Yeah. So when we say strong, like again, I don't mean strong like, it's strong.
Not,
like,
yeah.
It could stand up. I could see this eggplant Parmigiana for sure.
I think so for sure.
Pizza
Cheesy
for sure.
things for sure.
Cheesy things for sure.
Yeah.
Fried foods for
How
sure.
would it do with a tomato sauce though? Or what kind of, would you do a pizza that's more of a white sauce, like a Bianco or a pesto?
I actually think you could do, I don't know that I would do a margarita with this one or like just a plain like pizza marinara. If you don't know, there is such a thing as a pizza marinara, which is pizza and sauce. That's a very Neapolitan thing.
No, I think you need cheese with this.
I think you'd need like a heavier cheese or like something meaty too would do really well.
Like, would be really good? You could do like a white pizza, but with like
salsicce,
or even like mushrooms.
I think it'd be very good.
Sauteed, grilled mushrooms, onions.
And this would be good with is like white sauces, like creamy sauces.
Yes. I agree.
And like,
like a carbonara.
Be really good with a carbonara.
Do a carbonara for sure. Even though that's not a cream sauce. You don't put cream, believe it or not, inside carbonara. But yeah, I think you could do a cream sauce. Puttanesca, yeah.
I think, but I kind of like it.
I am really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's I know we're kind of describing it as kind of like a heavier, bigger bodied and alcoholic kind of wine, but it's I don't know how to describe this, but it's in a nice way.
Right. No,
like if you have a nice cocktail.
It's pleasant. I don't know. It's one of those things though. I mean, for me, and I like white wine so much, I could see enjoying, like really sipping
just
on
drinking
this.
it.
Yeah, and just having it as part of a cocktail hour. I don't know if I need more than like a glass of it because it is flavor forward. I don't know. Like with some of the more acidic wines that we drink, I feel like we can really drink through the night.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway.
I agree. Before we rate it, I am going to say one thing. I was a little bit disappointed because the label came and it was like a little bit dirty. Like sometimes this will happen, and I only bought one of the wines. So when you look at it on Instagram, it's going to look like there's some funk on the label, and it's just the way it came. Okay, a reminder on our rating scale. We rate on a scale of 1 to 10, where 7 and above means that we're going to buy it, and an 8 or below... A 4 or below means that we're likely to pour it down the sink, and a 5 or a 6 means we're going to drink it, and we're going to finish it probably, but we're not going to buy it, and we might look for something else. So what rating would you give this wine? I kind of gave myself away a little bit there.
I'm going to give this, and I haven't had the other ones, but I feel like I want to give it an 8.
I want to give it an 8 as well.
I do.
It's on the sweet end. I would say it's on the sweet side. It's sweeter than I think some of the wines that we typically drink.
But it's kind of like pleasantly sweet.
Yeah, and I kind of find that Southern Italian white wines can be on the sweet end of things.
I agree.
And I think it's probably just because the juice gets so concentrated.
And I know this isn't oaky, but I think...
right? The bees are attracted to it.
Right. I know it's not like a big oaky flavor, but I do think a Chardonnay fan would enjoy this.
Because it has some body to it.
Yeah. There's some flavor for sure.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to try our next wine.
Okay.
Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our next wine. This wine is the La Capranera Paestum Fiano. It's from Campania, Italy. It's a 2019. It was $15.99 at wine.com. 12.5% alcohol, and as far as I know, it's 100%. Fiano, Carmela, what are you smelling?
Okay, so I'm finding it pretty similar to the other one. And I don't know if it's just in my brain.
I think it's much lighter.
I was going to say, I don't think it's quite as pungent, but I feel like a lot of the same smells, a lot of the same scents. I'm still getting kind of, grapefruit, a little bit of zest, a little orange zest. What are you thinking?
I'm getting a little bit of apple on it.
Okay.
But it's a little musty. I feel like it's got a little mustiness on it for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe a little lemony. I think it's more citrusy, more appley than the last one. I think it's lighter. It doesn't smell as heavy to me as the last one.
Yeah, this one might have like a little bit of vanilla on it.
Or candy. Like a little more candy.
Like what? Like cotton candy?
Just like sweetness. Like
sweet tart?
More like a hard candy sweetness to it.
Okay. Tropical?
No, more lemony.
Okay. Like a lemon head almost?
Yeah, but more like those Italian lemon.
Oh, Perugina?
Yeah. All right, let's try it. Okay. It's tart, way more tart than the last one.
Yeah,
way more tart.
Not as much sweetness on it.
This one tastes like a lemon head.
It does. Like the inside of the lemon head. And there's no sugar on it. It smells sweeter than it tastes.
Agree. It's very, very lemony. It's very acidic.
Mm-hmm. And the tannins, I can taste some tannins on it.
Really?
Yeah, something's drying on the mouth.
It does dry out, but that's not atypical for an acidic wine. But I don't think it has the body of the last one.
No, not at all.
It's and it's not bad. It's just a different wine. It's just much thinner wine.
It's going to be really good with food.
And more of a summer sipper, I feel like.
Yes, yeah.
This is more of like a...
That's true. The other one felt a little bit, fall or winter for a white wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely, like thinner. It doesn't have that syrupy, like simple syrup taste to it. Like you were talking about like a cocktail.
This is a much less complex wine than the last one. Last one had a lot of stuff going on. I'm getting bitterness at the end too, which is like stone, kind of a stone mineral kind of like bitterness at the end. For sure. I think that's the drying off for me is more like a stone or like a, slate.
Licking a rock.
Yeah.
The last time I licked a rock.
But I do think this is more of a classic white Italian kind of wine than the last one. And it's good. It's just funny because I wasn't expecting it. So it's kind of, when I first tasted it, you did the same thing. My face was like, ooh, puckered.
Yeah. Oh boy, we said it at the same time. Jinx. That was a jinx right there. Oh.
What food? What's interesting?
Well, I'm just thinking like, okay, so how much of this is the Fiano grape?
100%. But it's just not
from 100% too?
Yeah, it's just not from Avellino.
Okay. Interesting.
That's the difference. I think that might be part of the difference is this is the one from Paestum, different area. It's not from, this is the IGT, not the DOCG. So it's just a different wine. And they're probably making it in a different style on purpose.
Yeah.
And remember I said
set it apart.
Yeah. And remember I said like the Australian wines are a little more crisp and acidic. That's what this one is.
Yes.
It's a crisp acidic wine.
For sure. What are you going to eat with it?
This is like great fried food wine. It's a great
spicy food.
Yeah, clams. This would be spaghetti con vongole
with a lot of black pepper. Like you could, like this would be really nice to cut in.
Cacio e pepe.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that would be a nice Italian dish to have with this because that pepper, that little bit of spice, would be balanced out with this wine. I feel like, yeah.
This to me is a classic white pizza wine, really garlicky kind of white pizza wine.
This is refreshing, a little more refreshing than the last one.
Good with garlic. I think this wine would be really good with garlic. Pesto, garlic bread, like something really garlicky. Ooh. I think this would do really well with. I got that in my head. Okay. What about you? Anything else?
I still think you could do, like, this is a lighter wine, but you could still do some sort. You could, like, grilled vegetables would be really good. But I'm thinking you still could do, like, an eggplant parmigiana with this. I mean, it would be not, I don't know. The tomato sauce might have to be a little bit lighter. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'm with you. Okay, well, let's do a little bit of rating. Let's do a rating.
What do you? I'm gonna have you rate.
I'm a 7 on it. I like it a lot. Okay. Like I think I was a little bit shocked by how different it was because the interesting thing is like I felt like it didn't smell exactly the same, but you did, so that even made the shock of the taste a little bit bigger. Yeah, because you're like, oh my God, what's going on here?
But it did from the first smell. It had a lot of the same qualities, but I think it was, like you said, a lighter version. So I'd be curious.
What are you giving it?
So I'm going to give it a 7 also. I
Okay.
mean, I really like this wine, but
I
in
do
terms
too.
of like the Fiano, I think the other one kind of blew me away as kind of unique and different and kind of like a little like intriguing.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that one, like if I'm going to give one of these away to someone, it's going to be the first one because it's just different.
It's different. Yeah. And this one's a little less sweet, I think, than the last one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we both give it a 7, and 7 is a very good rating.
Yeah,
so
of course.
let's not fool ourselves. Okay, we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna try our last wine.
Okay.
Okay, we are back, and we are ready to try our last wine. This is the Terradora di Paolo Fiano di Avellino. It's from Campania, Italy. The year is 2020. This one was $22.99.
Ooh,
so we broke the bank.
Madonna.
We got it at wine.com. It's 12.5% alcohol, 100% Fiano. And this is the one that Sucky James Suckling gave a 93.
Okay.
But what are you smelling?
So right away it was
Much like the first one.
No, I was getting gasoline.
Okay. To me, this smells almost exactly like the first one. It's interesting you said gasoline.
Oh my God, I'm totally getting gas or glue or...
A little bit. A little bit. But to me, it smells a lot like the first one.
I'm not getting the first one at all. I don't know why.
I'm getting some of that, but I'm also getting some like orange.
Okay, that's really... My nose must be off then. I don't know. The other two did not give me this scent. This
No, I'm with you. It's strong smell. It's got a strong, thick smell again.
It's definitely thick, yeah. But I'm not getting that same grapefruity, tropical fruit.
I'm not getting a lot of tropical fruit. I'm not. I'm getting a little bit more apple and a little bit more orange peel or something. I can get a little bit of that funk on it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe even a little yeast.
Well, this one was on the lees, I believe. Yeah, this is the one that's on the lees. That's got to be part of what it is.
That's why
I'm getting
that's what's coming through to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm picking that out first. Funny how different noses pick out different things. If you pick your nose,
I can get. You can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
I mean, you could, but you need to ask permission.
Get punched in the face.
Punched in the nose.
I am smelling that yeast. That's a great call out, Carmela. Great call out.
Good. Well, see.
Okay. Am I talking too much?
No.
Okay. What are you tasting?
I haven't tasted it yet.
Well, it's funny. I asked you what you tasted before you tasted it.
It's good I didn't answer, right?
Citrus. It's citrusy.
It is citrusy. I'm not getting any strange, I'm not even getting a lot of yeast on the flavor. It's definitely more citrus. Isn't that interesting how it comes? The smell is very different on this one. But yeah.
It's
tangy.
more orangey again, kind of more orangey than, I mean, it's got a little lemon, but I kind of am getting a little bit of orange.
And I feel like orange, though, is more like a sweeter fruit, right? Like lemon is tart.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's a little sweeter. It's also a little bit thicker. Like, I think it's heavier, a little bit heavier flavor.
Yeah, it's kind of, for me, it's a little bit of a cross between the first two. Like, I kind of feel like has some characteristics of both.
It's more tart than the first one.
For sure.
It doesn't have as much body. It has some body. It's not...
It's a little sweeter than the second one, though.
Yeah, sweeter than the second one, but has some of that tartness. I am getting a little bit of like apple, like a tart apple or maybe a pear or something on it.
Okay.
I keep getting a little bit of that on it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm getting the same
what kind of apple?
Really like tart apple, like a Granny Smith kind of.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm getting that like nutty kind of that they talk about.
Was this one hanging out with the hazelnuts?
I think so. I mean, the Avellino ones they talk about.
Right. Okay. Not really.
There's something creamy about this one, though. I am getting, maybe that's some of the lees, but I am getting a little bit of creaminess in the body.
Well, and it's just also just a little thicker, so maybe it does have that.
I still don't think it's as thick as the first one, but it's creamy and it's got more body. It's more, it is a medium-bodied white wine.
Yeah.
The first one, or the middle one, the Paestum one was not. It was kind of thin-bodied, I thought.
Very traditional label. The second one was the only kind of
funky fun.
Yeah.
What food would you have with this wine?
I think a lot of the same things. You could do, I mean, like any white sauce is going to be good. You could do like a nice chicken dish too, like a chicken piccata or like a chicken marsala even, you know.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like chicken marsala.
And
lemony kind
Yes,
of.
yeah. And caper, like the piccata has like the capers, and
I could see that.
I could see kind of a light. For some reason, chicken
It'd be
sounds
good,
kind of
like
good with
like a
this.
chicken cutlet with a little lemon squeeze on it would be real
That would
good.
be really good because it's
Little
a little
schnitzel.
light. It's a light breaded.
And you know what I
fried
love?
Chicken.
Katsu.
Chicken
be really good with chicken
katsu.
katsu.
Yeah, true.
Real
true.
good with
What
chicken
about like a
katsu.
veal cutlet?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like any cutlet, but I think like fried chicken, this would be a really good
Really,
fried
really
chicken
good. Yeah.
wine.
How about spicy? I guess.
Yeah, no, for
Like
sure.
wings. Would you have wings with something like this?
Totally, but I actually think you'd want it hot. Like I think you want it really hot. Like super hot wings would be good with this.
Okay.
I think good. Like good with cheeses. I feel like I'm bagging on this wine. It's a good wine.
No, I
like
don't
it's
think
gonna
you
get
are.
a good
Yeah.
rating. The first one to me was just so different.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. It's kind of rich and kind of different.
If you're
and kinda,
introducing this one, I mean, it'd be interesting to know like how many fall into each category, like how many of those really interesting, different Fianos there are, or if this is more of the typical flavor, you know?
Yeah, I wish I knew. But I will say I kind of feel like this one has more in common with the second wine than the first one.
I think so too. Yeah.
So maybe I don't know which one is unique. I'm not sure which one. Okay, well, let's rate this. I'm having a hard time because I really like this wine. I really do. I kind of like it better than the second and not quite as well as the first, but we gave the first one an
And
8.
no halvesies.
I know. So I kind of might give it a 7, but I kind of want to give it an 8. I'm not sure if I want to give the first one a 9.
Whoa.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to stick with a 7.
Okay. I'm going to
this
stick with this. Look, people, friends.
These are great ratings.
These are really good. Like, these are 3 wines that we would buy. Not that we just did buy, but we would buy
you
these
just
wines.
bought these, so you would buy them.
These are all good wines. So, and it probably depends on like what you're going to eat, what mood you're in, if it's summer. Like this one is more of a summery kind of wine, I think, too, than the first one. The first one's
and the
definitely kind of
more
a winter and fall wine.
And when you take a wine and you explore them, like you have more than just 3 bottles, like you try them, then you kind of know what you like about it, like what you're looking for when you buy a Fiano. So that's why it's kind of fun to find something different, to kind of start testing out and trying.
I'm fully with you.
Woo!
Okay, which one of these are you finishing tonight?
I
Claudio
think I might do the Claudio.
Quarta Cantina San Paolo Fiano di Avellino.
I mean, that's excessive, people. That's.
I think I'm going to do the same, but honestly, I could drink any of these. I'd be super happy with any of them.
I agree. We're going to hold on to all 3.
All right, let's talk about the taste profiles expected from Fiano.
Okay.
In general, Good Per Day says pear, hazelnut, orange peel, citrus. The Cards of Wine says pear, peach, orange zest, honey flower, pine, spices, hazelnut. So we were getting a lot of those flavors.
Yes.
Orange zest, a lot of orange, right? The winery says about Claudio Quarta, bright straw color, nose conquers for the complexity of aromas, floral of broom, acacia, chamomile, a faint vein of mandarin, it's an orange, white pulp fruit, which I think is more like so that's kind of like peachy, I think. What else did they say? Background of hazelnut and mineral and smoky notes. Interesting.
Smoky notes.
Yeah, they say it's also rich in fruit and balanced, which I think is true. Like long and vibrant finish. I think that's true as well.
Okay.
The La Capranera, the winery says notes of apple and citrus on the nose with a hint of honeysuckle. Wine Library says soft and round mouthfeel, refreshing, crisp acidity, hints of peaches and pears with great minerality. I know I got minerality on it.
Yes, you did. Absolutely.
For sure. Okay, and then the Terradora, the winery says elegant and complex bouquet on the nose with nice, ripe, flowery and fruity aromas. Pear, apricot, citrus, toasted
Apricot, that's interesting. Yeah.
toasted hazelnut, acacia, honey, and a pleasant mineral note. Palate is dry and elegant. James Suckling said tense and pure Fiano with some lemon and flinty allures. Twist of honey
Tense and flinty.
whatever.
Okay.
Lemon and flinty. Twist of honey and blossoms, medium to full body on the palate. Pure, refreshing, and zingy. Okay. Well, what do you think about Fiano? Is it?
I'm psyched about it.
I kind of think it's becoming. It could be another one of the. I wish it was more common.
Yeah.
Because we might order it more often. It's super hard to find. Like some of the Italian wines that we've been trying, I'm starting to see more. Like agave to agave. I'm seeing those more. Suave. Seeing those a lot more.
Yes. People a lot of people know about Suave. People are interested in it. And we know people, like I've gone out to dinner with somebody and they'll want to,
Suave.
hey, what should we get?
Yeah.
Suave. Yeah.
Vermentino, you're starting to see that quite a bit. I think you can find that relatively relatively easily. Pinot Grigio, of course. Fiano, I kind of want to see more.
I hope
I
we
would
get
order
to,
it.
and maybe we get to see it in Italy.
In Italy.
Campania.
Ooh, are we going?
about that?
We're going to visit Alfonso, my cousin Alfonso in
Be so nice.
Naples.
Be really
There you go.
fun.
Alfonso. Hey, Alfonso.
We'll find him.
All
We'll
right.
find Alfonso.
I like it. Let's do it. A real Italian wine adventure, not just these fake ones.
Right. And then
these virtual.
we can do our podcast from our destination.
There's no way you do it, but I would do it.
You got to have the right things, though, right?
I got the right things.
Okay.
Okay, Carmel, it's time for us to go. But before we do, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. And if you haven't done so yet, now would be the perfecto time to subscribe and give us a rating and review. We'd really appreciate it. We'd love to hear from you. So you can email us at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. You can visit us at thewinepairpodcast.com and check out our show notes, sign up for our newsletter, all that kind of fun stuff. But with that, we're going to sign off. And thank you again for listening. And we'll see you next time. And as we say all the time, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine.
And we say it all the time.
Yeah, ciao,
Like
ciao.
daily.
We do. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
And the happy ending at the end of our story. Always think too much, always drink too much, always pray too much, always think too much. And when I'm with you too much, I fall in love too much. And when I'm away too much,